Alright, so we have an intriguing fight here for sure. Like a very intriguing fight. So Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod versus Kevin the Motown Phenom Lee. So Kevin Lee moving up to 170. He's going to be giving up size to a lot of these guys here at welterweight. And he will be giving up significant size to Daniel Rodriguez, who is 4 inches taller, but somehow Kevin Lee has a 3-inch reach advantage, which is impressive. So, in regards to the striking, D-Rod, he's a southpaw. He's been in the UFC for a while now. We know his style. He's a very smooth customer on the feet. He's a boxing mostly. He's a southpaw. He's able to fight off the front foot and off the back foot as well. He's got nice hands, nice straight punches. Nice snap and jab, pumps the jab out constantly. If he has the range down pat, he's just going to keep pumping out the jab. Check right hook as well when the opponent does close distance. Check right hook to a 2. 1-2s. Very nice straight punches. And Kevin Lee, he doesn't move his head a whole lot. So it's just very dangerous when you're facing a guy like D-Rod, who has very nice straight punches. But Kevin Lee's a little bit more stiff on the feet. He's definitely you look at the striking of these two and you'd know who's the natural striker. Kevin Lee, he will switch stance occasionally. Pretty, competent in either stance. He's quite flat-footed though, and he's much less effective on the back foot. So if you push him back, he's not a very good striker at all. On the front foot, he's serviceable, sure, he's okay. He's got nice body kicks facing a southpaw. His kicks do have a bit of snap behind them. But he will drop his hands when he does throw the body kicks or any kicks, just in general. He does have hands as well, 1-2, snap and jab. As I said, at 155 he had the reach advantage over a lot of flyweights, so the jab was always there for him really. Overhands, quite slow. I think his straight punches are better when he is straightening things up. Stiff jab when the opponents do close distance. I think the jab is definitely his best punch for sure, but he will hang his jab out after he does pop it. So, once he does throw that jab out, he will kind of leave it out there for a second and then pull it back. So yeah, you want to try and close it, retract your hand as quickly as possible, bring it back to your face, just so you're not, defensively open for counters, like D-Rod will be looking for. Alright, so in regards to the grappling, Kevin Lee is a very good wrestler. He's got good timing on his level changes, nice reactive double. D-Rod, not very good at defending the double leg from what I've seen. He goes for that low percentage guillotine, the arm in guillotine, to defend takedowns, which is just not the move in MMA. Kevin Lee's also got a nice high crotch single leg on the fence, body lock, outside leg trip. Very proficient at taking the back when he does get the fight to the mat. Locks in the body triangle. After that, it's very hard to shake him off. Rear naked choke, hammer fist from his back, or from the opponent's back. But he's very good at controlling his opponents when he does get them down. He looks to establish top control first and then advance position. So how these guys win fights, so for Kevin Lee, he's got good takedown defense, good wrestling overall, I'd say. For Daniel Rodriguez, he's got great cardio, good volume, good recoverability, and good chin. And, on the other side, Kevin Lee, I think he's got a pretty suspect chin, honestly. And he does slow in competitive fights that do involve a lot of grappling, so if you're making him work for the takedown, he will slow down pretty quickly. Pass to victory for these two. For Daniel Rodriguez, as we said before, he's not as effective on the back foot, so take the front foot, keep distance, keep the distance that you need. So kind of in his face, but also just keep the pressure on. But yeah, so just don't get too close, or he'll level change, or don't get too over aggressive because he'll level change and get onto your hips, because he's very good at that. But mostly early on, just jabs, twos, singular strikes until you get the read on how he's going to take, or how he's going to look to take you down. Then you can, let your hands go after that, after you do feel comfortable with how you're going to defend the takedowns. But early on, just jabs, twos. When you are defending a takedown, do it technically, don't just go for that low percentage guillotine trap. You probably hit it once on the regional scene and now you go for it every time, but it's just not the move here. For Kevin Lee, mostly jabs and body kicks on the feet, but primarily wrestling heavy game plan, obviously. Get the fight to the ground, middle of the octagon if possible, because we'll get into it. Like D-Rod's get-ups, we'll get into it in a sec. Also, Von Flue, if he does hang on to that guillotine, you know, if he's hanging on to that guillotine to defend the takedown and you pass his guard, you can just go for that Von Flue, really commit to it if he's not defending it properly, or pass the guard, I guess. Look to level change when he really commits with a 3. So if he's committing with the 3, likely the 2 is coming after that. So, and in anticipation of the straight left coming, you can level change and, you know, get onto the hips from there and hopefully take him off his feet. For D-Rod, if you stuff a takedown and he's stalling on a double leg on the fence, look for Travis Browne elbows. So how I see this fight going? It's just such a weird fight, honestly. Like, it feels like one of those hypotheticals that you'd ask your mate, like, oi, who do you think would win? Mike Perry or Merab Dvalishvili? Like, something like that. Like, you don't expect this to ever be announced. That's the feeling I got anyway, when this fight got announced. You don't really expect a fight like this to happen. Like, Kevin Lee, he's not really going to have size on anybody in this division. And that's something that really helped him climb the ranks at 155, was his size and his strength over a lot of the other lightweights. He's obviously a very skilled fighter too, but I believe those things, like his size and his strength, helped him out tremendously in his fights and with the style that he likes to employ. But yeah, it's been 17 months since we've seen Kevin Lee. Still trains at TriStar, I'm pretty sure. Might have gone to Extreme Couture. Either way, both are great camps, so, you know, potentially his striking has improved a little bit. It seemed to be a big focus for him in previous fights before he, you know, got injured. And he's coming back from, like, tearing his ACL in both knees. And ACL recovery on one knee is tough. And let me tell you firsthand. So I wouldn't wish 2 ACL tears on my worst enemy, honestly. Like, it's a very tough road to get back. And yeah, 2 would just be incredibly hard because, yeah, you can't really do anything on your legs for about 9 months. Very little on your legs for 9 months. Like, in terms of confidence, like, man, D-Rod has really found his groove in his last 2 fights. Like, momentum is all in D-Rod's corner. Kevin Lee has 0 momentum right now. 0 reasons to be confident, really. Like, I feel like this is a make or break fight for Motown Phenom, like for Kevin Lee. I really think it is. Like, it would be great to see him get back on track, because he is a fun fighter. He's an entertaining guy. He's very interesting as a person, as a personality. But I'm also a huge fan of D-Rod, you know, especially after he made me rich after battering Mike Perry. So, yeah, I like the fight, but I'm going to hate seeing one of them lose. But yeah, I think D-Rod's going to big brother him on the feet. Like Kevin Lee, his head doesn't move, and D-Rod has some of the nicest straight punches in the game. I think he peppers him up real good on the feet. Like Kevin, he isn't a great striker, like he's fine. Like, I reckon his absurd reach did help him out a lot at 155. But technically he's very basic and he's very linear in his approach. I think D-Rod's going to piece him up on the feet, and he's going to be hitting Kevin Lee with shots that are probably harder than he's ever been hit with before. And there already were a few questions around the strength of Kevin Lee's chin. Like, was that due to the weight cut though? Or does he just have a weak chin? Who knows, but now that he's in the welterweight division, we're probably going to find out where guys crack much harder than the lightweights do. Like, much harder. Percentage-wise, if you're going on a spectrum. But yeah, we saw Kevin have a real hard time getting RDA down on the fence in their fight. And RDA isn't known for having fantastic takedown defense. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So that was pretty much the only time he's faced a welterweight, and RDA's barely a welterweight, you know? So that was the first time he faced a welterweight or just like someone bigger than him that he couldn't really just size bully, you know? So either way, he has a big grappling advantage, in my opinion, over D-Rod. Like, you got to think D-Rod was wrestling every day in preparation for that fight with Abubakar Nurmagomedov. And then Nurmagomedov pulled out, and then Preston Parsons, who's another grappler, took his place. So you got to imagine that he's been trying to sharpen up his wrestling or his takedown defense for quite some time, for the past 2 months basically. So his wrestling's probably going to be the sharpest it's ever been. Like, you got to think, with all the drilling that he's probably been doing. Like, that's just an assumption, but you've got to imagine, if you're facing a guy with the last name of Nurmagomedov, you've you're probably defending a lot of takedowns in training camp. But it's just not a good look when you're getting taken down and then controlled for like a significant period of time by Mike Perry. like D-Rod's takedown defense is good, but Kevin Lee's takedown entries are real nice, and I feel like he's going to be able to level change when Rodriguez is overextending or throwing big punches. And if he does get D-Rod down, like on tape, with the limited amount of footage that we have of D-Rod's bottom game, it looks real bad. And I think he's a 10th planet guy as well, so he probably doesn't focus that much on get-ups. It's probably a lot of just stupid low percentage stuff on bottom. But yeah, in terms of betting, I'll probably stay away from this one. I don't think I have a good read on it. It's a really weird fight. I mean, I'm back and forth on it, like in who I think is going to win. For the outcome of the fight, I think whoever's going to win is going to look super dominant. It's either going to be D-Rod is able to nullify enough of the grappling and then just pieces him up on the feet, probably gets a finish, or Kevin Lee just kind of laying praying him. Like, I really don't see it being competitive either way. So I might live bet it, see what happens in the first round. If D-Rod's making Kevin Lee work for the takedowns, then that's a really good sign, because Kevin Lee hasn't been known for the best gas tank. But yeah, right now, like basically, if you're going to pick Lee, you're going to be assuming that D-Rod has 0 get-ups. And pretty much from what tape has shown us, he has 0 get-ups. There was one fight in the regional scene, I can't remember, but he just got taken down and he was not very urgent off his back. But the Mike Perry one is the big red flag for me. But was that because it was near the end of the round? I guess it was kind of near the end of the round with 1 minute left, but he didn't look very urgent. It looked kind of lost off his back. So, I don't know. Like, it's not enough for me to make an accurate assumption, really. So I'm probably gonna stay away from this fight unless I see something I like in live betting on the first round. But in regards to the size difference, like, Kevin Lee, he's going to be looking like a kid next to D-Rod in the face-offs. Like, it's going to look like a man versus a child in the face-offs. Like, they're not going to look like they belong in the same weight class. But yeah, unfortunately for Kevin Lee, he's just big enough. Well, he's just too big for lightweight. Like, he's just too big. Like, he's not, like, I feel like, yeah, he's probably a tweener. Like, he's probably stuck in between 2 weight classes. But I feel like if he took some muscle off or something like that, like, he could probably make 155. Like, his frame it's not huge, like, it's you just got a lot of muscle, man. Like, maybe just trim down a little bit. But yeah, so alright, so prediction, we'll have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so if you guys liked the video, that would be awesome. Alright, so prediction, geez, I don't know, I actually haven't got one written down. It's like literally a 50-50 for me, because it's just such a weird fight and I really have no idea how to predict it. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with D-Rod, actually, because if he doesn't just get completely like laid and prayed, well, if he has any get-ups, he should win. Like, if he has get-ups, if he's showing if he's trying to get back to his feet, he should win. Because he's going to really hurt Kevin Lee on the feet. He has the better gas tank as well. Just the bottom game is really concerning for me. So, yeah, obviously you can tell I'm not very confident, but I'm definitely not going to bet it unless I see something I like after round 1 or round 2 in the live betting. Like, it's not a fight that I want to pre-bet. And I might even change my prediction, like, after the weigh-ins. Well, probably not. Because I'm going to see the size difference and then I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah.